Hey, Junior, look what I found in the garage. Your old baseball. Turns out the cat was out of the cradle, and it winked right at me. I accidentally walked in on Junior as he was engaged in hand-to-gland combat.
Oh, God, he's been doing that for a while. He was even afraid he was gonna break it from doing it too much. Adorable.
Whoa. He came to you with this?
Yeah, when we had the talk.
You and Junior had the talk without me? Babe, how could you keep me out of the sex talk loop?
Dre, please. You are uptight with this kind of thing. I mean, look at the way you wear your towel.
Just because you grew up in a house full of naked hippies doesn't make you Dr. Ruth.
My parents talk to us openly about everything, and that's why the kids come to me. It's what I do, and I do it pretty good.
I'm about to go upstairs and give Junior the talk. Hey, Pops, how come you never gave me the talk?
I most certainly did. I mean, what do you think that box of condoms I left in your bedroom was about?
That was it?
Oh, you wanted a hug too? Son, listen to me. Don't get all caught up in this having open dialogue with your kids' hoopla. It's not natural. Show me one place in the Bible where a kid talks.
Come in, Dad.
Whew. Okay.
I'm sorry about yesterday. I guess I should have locked the door.
All right, no need to apologize. You're a man, and that's what men do. Not me as much. Let's talk about it. Anything and everything. Let's get our sex talk on.
Oh, Mom covered it all pretty good.
Yeah, maybe about the birds and the bees, but I'm your daddy's son, and I'm here to keep it 100. All right, despite the fact that your mother thinks I'm uptight. Cray, right? I'm comfortable. I'm gonna show you how comfortable I am.
What's that?
Just a comfortable man with no shirt on talking to his son about nasty stuff. Ooh, I'm really feeling the AC in here. Am I standing under a vent? Let's talk next level.
So, what's it like, having sex?
Whoa. Just gonna jump right in there like that, huh, son? Okay, I guess we're really doing this, huh? Let me figure this out. Where do we start? Body spray. Bad name, all right? Son, if you want to attract a woman, you never spray this on your body, all right? You just spray it in the air like that, and you walk through it. Woo! That's cold. Kind of tingles when you're topless. You getting all this, son? You need a notebook or something? You don't have to raise your hand, son.
Dad, I appreciate all this advanced dating advice, but there's other stuff.
Okay.
I heard some kids talking about oral.
Oh, okay. I would stay away from that. You know, kid like you with wheat allergies. All right, so show me which one of your crew has the most busted face, okay? Because that's gonna be your wingman. By yourself, you're beautiful. But next to him, you'll be Denzel Clooney, Kojo Chestnut. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I just need to do 3. Finally, son, when it comes to movie dates, never pick a movie that'll make you cry. That means no urban coming-of-age stories. The brother always gets shot at the end. Good talk, son. Nailed it!
All right, somebody's right off the bat. If Dad is around, yes, I'm saying this, okay? Dad, the talk is between you and your son, okay? Because we already saw Mom apparently took care of that talk because Dad is a little uptight about it. Look, I'm going to say this. I've had the talk with my son, or the beginnings of the talk, all right? I'll be real with you. You never know. I didn't have a father figure or a male figure to figure out what happened back then when they gave me the talk, because I didn't get the talk. My mom didn't give me a talk. I remember I asked her about it, and she rented me a video from the library, and it was about HIV prevention, where it was Magic Johnson talking about it. That was her version of the talk with me, okay? I didn't really learn much from that. I don't even really remember the video. Nonetheless, I've had to talk with my son, the beginnings of it. He did ask that question that his son did, which is, what does it feel like to have sex? You gotta be honest, okay? You gotta tell him, it feels good, alright? Just flat out. It does. But at the same time, you tell him, you kind of direct him, you lead the witness that it feels better if you're with someone that you have feelings for and that you have love with, and much, much further down your life when you're an adult, okay? Maybe in your mid to late 20s. I'm just saying, okay? But your son is gonna have questions, and there's gonna be questions he won't ask, and you have to try to predict what questions you should ask him, or just give answers to questions you think he should know. Like the oral question that his son asked. I told my son, and my wife was there too. She threw in her 2 cents. That, hey, it's something that feels good for the man, okay? And if the woman is willing, hey, so be it. But that's all part of sex. You have to answer. Try not to be too uptight. I know I did my best to be nice and loose when this conversation happened. And as I said before at the beginning, it's the beginnings of the talk, because it's going to continue. It doesn't just happen one time. You start that process because there's going to be more questions down the road. Let's say your son has engaged in sex. There's going to be more questions along the way. Let's say your son says it wasn't a great experience. What can you do? No, this, that, and the other. All these questions are going to continue to come to you. Just be ready for them, okay? For me, my wife can be there, but I have to lead it, all right? That's just what we do as dads with our sons. We just have to do this. We have to lead them in the right way. Otherwise, they'll try to figure it out for themselves, and that's how they may get themselves in a situation where, I'm just gonna say, they may get someone pregnant. They may get someone knocked up when they're in school, all right? That's why it's best to start with you, dads. And for those that are watching that you only have a mom or you have somebody else, I praise you. You are a brave person to have the talk. If you're not a dad, just do your best. If you just want to show them a video like my mom did, just make sure it has some kind of relevance to sex.
We actually just had the sex talk with our oldest son, right? And where Mafuchi and I will disagree, I don't think the father has to be the one to lead the conversation or be the main one having the conversation, right? For me, I would want both parents to be there if they're in the same household, have them both there. And I will agree with Mafuchi on one thing. This is not a one-time conversation. This will be an ongoing conversation. And this is what I told my kids. We had the talk with our daughter first. And going through this, I wasn't sure at what age to do it, because they'll usually say wait until the kids say something and then kind of ask them what they think it is and stuff like that, and then kind of course correct and give them the proper information or facts about it, right? Not too much, not too little, depending on their age. So for my daughter, as a guy, my concern is a guy's gonna do what he's gonna do. So I'm prepping her like, hey, anytime a guy says something to you, he's lying. Period, point blank, that's how you gonna take it. So what I did was I watched some videos from Kathleen. Her last name is H-E-M-A, right? So you can find her on YouTube. She has some good videos about talking to kids about sex from all different ages. So if you don't know where to start or how to proceed, I would say go that route. For me, what I did was I talked about the 3 types of sex, right? Vaginal, oral, and anal, right? So I said that for part first. And then I had like a slideshow, I have a PowerPoint, so I kind of went through all this stuff, right? And then I had like a STI one where I tried to scare them to death, like, you do this, X, Y, and Z can happen to you and you're changed forever, right? Depending on what's going on. I remember seeing that episode when Black was on the air. Looking back at it, I'm like, why is there a young guy and an older man with a shirt off in the clip? I'm like, who idea let that fly? I don't care, there's a lot of people on set. I'm like, who letting that fly, right? When your kids are of Junior's age on that show, you knock on the door. You don't just walk in on someone, because you might get that right there. You always knock when they're a preteen or a teenager. Always knock on the door. Even the younger. If the door's closed, knock on it, right? Because you don't want to be embarrassed and they're embarrassed and you got to have an awkward conversation later on. One is you got to know how to speak to your children, because I never had to talk when I was a kid. I had my wife in the room. Like, what we did was we gave factual information. I give stuff from a man's point of view. I had her speak from a woman's point of view. And then we put our spiritual opinions in there for revelation and stuff like that, right? So there's lots of things and lots of ways you can go about doing that type of thing. But Andre he had no business going there having to talk, because once he said, how does it feel? He didn't know what to say. And I think most parents, they're afraid to have the talk because they're afraid that the kids will then go out and do it. And most kids don't think that way. You know, like, because like I know my son, right? I was listening to Trey Songz. It was an inappropriate song, I'll put it that way, right? I think it was Love and Touching. I'm gonna put that right there, right? So I had to turn down the volume. And then my son was like, I know what that was about. And I said, oh, okay. So then I told his mom, like, okay, I think we need to talk with our son, right? So we just did it not too long ago. And what he thought it was not correct. Went through the stuff, and I told them this. I said, this is not gonna be a one-time conversation. And I said this, our door's open. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Don't be afraid if you think it's embarrassing or anything. Like, we want you to have the factual information. We don't want you getting this from your friends at school, because they don't know what they're doing or know what they're talking about, right? And I said, we don't have the answers, we'll get them for you. And I said, if you feel comfortable coming to one parent or the other, that's fine too. We both don't have to be there, whatever's comfortable for you, but come to us if you have any questions. So I liked how Junior tried to handle it. It was like, yeah, mom already told me. And then we all know how Andre acted, not appropriately. But that's also because in America, talking about sex is kind of taboo. They don't do it at the church. Parents don't do it with their kids because it wasn't passed down like that. People didn't show emotions, they didn't talk about that type of stuff. So that's where I feel like our generation is like, okay, we can tell our kids so they don't get into certain type of trouble, any type of mess. And I told both my kids, I said, hey, X, Y, and Z can happen if you're this sex or that sex, okay? So I tried to tell my son, hey, be careful, because X, Y, and Z. And then I told, I know my wife was looking at me a certain way. When I said it, I was like, it can happen for the other sex too. I'm talking about child support, right? I'm like, cause that's what people do when they don't like you anymore, or they think they're gonna punish you for doing something and leaving, stuff like that. So that's a conversation that should be had between parents and their children, not leaving up to schools, not letting them find out from the friends at school, stuff like that. Because I know when I was in junior high, a whole lot of stuff was going on, and then high school, you know, people got pregnant left and right.
Hey somebodies, come check out my channel where I give you my candid thoughts and opinions on various topics and weird news reports. So stop by for some tomfoolery and ballyhoo. Cute little guy, eh?